Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday. We are so happy to be here. I first just want to thank Corinne again today for being here because it's been a rough freaking week, like really rough week. I could not have done this week without Corinne and Valen, our awesome producer. She's behind the scenes. Y'all don't even see her, but it's like a gerbil running the wheel behind the scenes. That's what's happening. And there's some serious conservative girl power happening this week. Just want to give props to my girls, to our girls. Also, there was a comment out on, what was it, YouTube, Corinne? Was it YouTube?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Most people are nice, but then there's also the dicks. And I just want to give a shout out to the dick who made a comment to Corinne yesterday. Corinne, tell us what that comment said. What was that comment?
I thought it was funny, but it was
yeah, Corinne did. I didn't think it was funny, but yeah.
That Daisy should consider replacing me with a plant.
With the house,
the best.
A house plant. Right. He doesn't like Corinne, and he thinks Corinne should be replaced with the house plant, you guys. So make sure that you give Corinne some love in the comments. Because what time is it there, Corinne? What time is it your time? It's
5 o'clock now. Yeah.
Oh, it's 5 now?
It's 5 now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's early. Anyways, that guy can is what he can do. So thank you to her. Also, I want to thank everybody who's been praying for Mock and Thomas this week. You guys, it's been a week. She, I think, is hopping a plane today. So appreciative of your prayers because they work. And one of the things that we're most proud of is this community. This community rallies. You guys always rally. There's no community like our community. And you guys are the best. Prayer works. I know you guys have been praying for her, and you guys have been praying for me. So I really appreciate that. I know she appreciates it. She's been telling me that. And, I cannot thank you guys enough. So thank you for that. Keep up the prayers because I know she's going to need it in the coming, weeks, months. So she'll be back on Monday. We're not going to have a show tomorrow, but we're going to get through all the news today and keep you guys up to speed on what's happening. We're going to get started. First of all, yesterday I brought up Dolly Parton. Do you guys remember I talked about that yesterday and how her sister said, hey, you guys should pray for Dolly. And I was a little worried because it's Dolly. We don't want anything happening to Dolly. But yesterday, Dolly Parton came out with a video and she was like, I'm not dead yet. She was all Monty Pythoning it yesterday. So here's a video from Dolly Parton.
Natalie, bring your camera over here. I want to say something. Well, today's October the 8th, and obviously I'm here doing some commercials for the Grand Ole Opry, which is why I'm dressed kind of like a country western girl. But before I got started, I wanted to say, I know lately everybody thinks that I am sicker than I am. Do I look sick to you? I'm working hard here. Anyway, I wanted to put everybody's mind at ease, those of you that seem to be real concerned, which I appreciate. And I appreciate your prayers because I'm a person of faith. I can always use the prayers for anything and everything. But I want you to know that I'm okay. I've got some problems, as I mentioned, back when my husband Carl was very sick. That was for a long time. And then when he passed, I didn't take care of myself. So I let a lot of things go that I should have been taken care of. So anyway, when I got around to it, the doctor said, we need to take care of this. We need to take care of that. Nothing major, but I did have to cancel some things so I could be closer to home, closer to Vanderbilt, where I'm kind of having a few treatments here and there.
But that's it. She's fine. You know what? She's the only person I'll forgive for messing with her face. I think it's okay. It's like when Joan Rivers messed with her face. I forgive it. I'll allow it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like she's just the most positive, bright person ever. Like, who hates Dolly Parton? I can't think of one person who doesn't love her.
I know. So she's got Mock is a lot like her, just like effervescent. She's like
listening to her talk, makes me so happy.
Mm-hmm. She's like Technicolor. I love it. So, you guys, just quickly, we got to talk about Cozy Earth because they're awesome. And my favorite place in the house is my recliner in my living room. Y'all have a gnat in here. I'm going to kill it at some point. I'm just going to start whacking the crap out of my screen. If you see me do that, it's because I'm trying to kill a gnat. But my favorite place in the house is my recliner in my living room with my Cozy Earth bubble cuddle blanket. It's the best. I have the ivory one, and everybody in my family knows it's my spot. Stay away. It's my queen throne. And I got to have my blanket at night. It's like the most luxurious, comfortable, beautiful blanket ever. And I have one. I'm thinking about getting another one because my daughter is loving it too. She always takes, I'm like, you cannot take my blanket, but she loves it. And I got my kids the gray one for their new home. They're moving into their new home on the 15th is when they're moving in because they were obsessed with mine. It's a great housewarming gift. It's just a great thing to have anyway, but they have the most deliciously luxurious stuff. They have great pajamas, really great gifts. The pajamas are otherworldly. I have a robe that I got from them years ago, and I'll have it forever. It's my absolute favorite. And their sheets are amazing. They will give you 100 nights to see if you like their sheets, which is completely crazy, but they'll do it because you're never going to return them because they're indescribably luxurious. So head to CozyEarth.com, use code CHICKS for up to 20% off. That's CozyEarth.com, code CHICKS. And if you get a post-purchase survey, make sure to let them know that you heard about Cozy Earth from the chicks on the right because they're awesome. CozyEarth.com, code CHICKS. Do it. Okay, we have to talk about Comey. So FBI director, former FBI director Comey, he pled not guilty in federal court. In your state, Corinne, and because he lied, because he's lying McLiarson. He did that to Congress, and he obstructed a congressional proceeding. And we all remember the 2020 testimony on the Russia investigation. We remember that. It was a short hearing yesterday. A tentative trial is set for January 5th, 2026. And prosecutors are requesting additional pretrial time because the case is like super complex, you guys. I beg to differ on that. I really think it's cut and dry, but they think it's super complex. His legal team is going to challenge the indictment because they're citing political motivation. Sigh. And this is the breaking news when it came down yesterday. You guys check this out.
Moments ago in a hearing that we did not think would last long, and apparently that is the case. He has entered a plea of not guilty to 2 charges, federal level now. Our producers inside the courtroom say the former director accused of lying to Congress, obstructing a congressional proceeding, entered the plea moments ago in front of the judge, Michael Nachmanoff, appointed by Joe Biden, not guilty on both federal charges. He's accused of lying in front of Congress back in 2020. So that is the update inside the courtroom. And while that's happening in...
Okay, so in case you forgot, here's the one of the instances of him lying out of his lying liar hole. Here's this.
Interfered in our election during the 2016 cycle. They did it with purpose. They did it with sophistication. They did it with overwhelming technical efforts. And it was an active measures campaign driven from the top of that government. There is no fuzz on that. It is a high confidence judgment of the entire intelligence community. And the members of this committee have seen the intelligence. It's not a close call. That happened. That's about as unfake as you can possibly get and is very, very serious, which is why it's so refreshing to see a bipartisan focus on that, because this is about America.
And are we mad, Corinne, that he did not get a perp walk and he was just like skating in and out of like back rooms and stuff? Like he was just creepy about it, right?
Way too much respect for him. I know that when Trump got his mugshot in Georgia, they made it extremely difficult for him to avoid the press. They made him walk out in front of the press. They made him get his mugshot. And I thought that was extremely rude. But since we set that standard, I don't know why James Comey didn't get the same exact treatment.
Right.
I just assume there are too many complicit people in Alexandria willing to cover for him and help keep him comfortable. But I hate it. I want the mugshot.
Me too. It was in and out of back doors. I was like, what is this? Why does he get to skate? This guy should totally be embarrassed, and he's a liar. And out of the blue, Nancy Pelosi, she got out of her crypt and put some spackle on her face, and she was doing the rounds yesterday, and she's really pissed, you guys. Watch this.
Nobody who has lied more to Congress than Donald Trump. And that's why I tore up his speech, because it was a manifesto of lies, and I said at the time. So it's so cute almost that he's accusing somebody of lying to Congress.
Obviously, he wasn't under oath. It's a different.
Doesn't matter. He's the president of the United States speaking to the Congress of the United States.
It's so funny when Dana Bash is like, "You're kind of crazy," you know?
Yeah, that was a great rebuttal from CNN. I did not expect that.
I know.
It's an important distinction.
Mhm.
This is under oath is a big deal.
Yeah.
But I actually don't believe that Donald Trump has lied more than James Comey to
No.
Congress.
Mm-mm. Especially to Congress. Hello. Like, it was a congressional hearing and he lied. You can't do that. And then next, I hope they do Fauci, you know?
Me too.
Because he did that too. Can we arrest him and then actually do a perp walk? Because I'd really like to see that. So more are coming, I hope. Kind of like, you know,
so.
I'm talking about, I mean, there's so many people that need to be arrested and indicted. And this is my hope anyway. So here's Eric Schmitt from Missouri. He's becoming a favorite of mine, you guys. He's talking about how there will inevitably be more people. And I love the analogy that he uses here. Check this out.
Has come for criminal prosecutions. I think some of the statute of limitations has expired on some of these things, but not on a conspiracy. And the fact is, if you're part of a conspiracy in mile marker 1, but you try to take an exit ramp at mile marker 5, you're still liable for the damage and the criminal activity at mile marker 10 or at mile marker 10. And so whether it's Comey, Clapper, Brennan, whoever else we know or don't know right now is a part of this, I think indictments should be coming here. We can't tolerate this. And the Democrats try to act like President Trump's weaponizing. It's not what's happening.
This is about accountability.
It is. And I would say this.
Someone has to be accountable
100%. And also we need to be clear of the distinction. They weaponized it. The fact that we would go after people who weaponized it is not the same thing. Because if we don't do that, it's going to happen again.
Right.
Absolutely.
And they're going to keep doing it. So we need to hold Democrats accountable. They act like we do all of this stuff. And they're like, you guys do it. It's all the projection, all the gaslighting. It drives me insane. He's so right.
Yeah. And I know that they'll do it again. I want them to be afraid to do it again. But Obama did it. And then we didn't really do anything about it. And then Joe Biden did it even worse. So I agree. We have to actually hold them accountable, or we're just going to be stuck in this endless cycle of anytime a Democrat is president, Republicans are politically prosecuted and investigated and everything.
And God forbid if they ever hold true power again. I mean, but this is the thing. They'll do it all again. They'll do all of the things that they say that we're doing to the nth degree. And we can't let that happen. You know, we can't. So let's get into some ICE drama because Democrats are going to Democrat. We got to talk about the Chicago and Portland stuff. Trump called for the mayor and the governor to be arrested. We have an X from yesterday about that. Okay, so he said Chicago mayor should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. Governor Pritzker also. I'm okay with this. I mean, I'm okay with this. How do you feel about this, X? How do you feel?
I'm fine with it too. And I think Democrats love to throw the word treason out there, but I see a lot of treasonous behavior from these governors that are resisting ICE and federal authority. First of all, they have no respect for national sovereignty at all. They've allowed their state and cities to be invaded, their people to be victimized by crime. These are treasonous things. And now they won't allow federal intervention to save American lives. I think totally lock him up. And I also am never going to be mad at a Trump tweet because
you love him.
Yeah, because I love him.
Yeah, I know you totally. And here's some stats for you. Okay. So Trump's deportation agenda is on pace to get rid of 2 million illegals in 2025. And they say it's just the beginning, which I voted for this, right? Around 500,000 illegals have been deported since Trump took office in January, while another 1.6 million have self-deported. So just that alone, 1.6 million have self-deported, you guys. He didn't do that. They did it themselves because Trump is just in office, okay? That's a huge deal. So another almost 500,000 illegals have been arrested by ICE since January, and we all voted for this. And illegals are hearing the message loud and clear because they're seeing this happen. I mean, that 1.6 self-deport number, that's huge to me. That is a huge number. And this is a video that I saw yesterday of an illegal trying to sweet talk Kristi Noem. there's a lot of chatter about this on X because people were like, she's so mean. She's so mean to this guy because he's essentially asking Noem, hey, let me go. And she's like, no, I'm not going to do that.
You
let me out.
let you out?
Yeah.
No, not let you out. You're under arrest. You're under arrest. Are you here in the United States illegally?
Estás aquí ilegalmente. Tiene papeles para estar aquí.
That's a criminal charge in this country, to be here illegally.
¿Sí o no? ¿Tiene papeles?
Look at him. He's like, oh, crap.
That's
She's
your
not gonna
brother?
let me go.
Yes? Yes? What's his name?
My brother?
Yes.
¿Cómo se llama? Esteban? Esteban.
You waited until we detained you. So now you will be removed from this country and never given a chance to come back.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, his brother was charged with identity theft and some other stuff, and he was here illegally. And so that dude was with him, also here illegally. All of these people were given the opportunity to leave the country with $1,000 in their pocket. Like, I think that's so generous that we were offering these criminals an extra $1,000. And if you didn't take it, too bad, so sad. I don't feel sorry for you. If that's heartless, then I guess I'm heartless.
No, I love that Kristi Noem is not gentle parenting any of these illegal immigrants. She's like,
I love that the gentle parenting. Yes. And then this is a side note, but the other day, we talked about Zach Bryan. I know that you were kind of a Zach Bryan fan. My daughter liked his music for like 5 minutes. She was also asked about him the other day. I know this is total side note, but they decided to ask Kristi Noem about this, and she did. She was just like, I don't really care about Zach Bryan, but she was asked about him. This is an update on him because I know we talked about him yesterday, but he's trying to do so much damage control because I think that a lot of these celebrities believe that they can spew all this nonsense and call ICE like cocky MFers in their music, which is exactly what he did. And then when he gets backlash, because this guy is essentially a country singer and his demo was not happy about that and he faced backlash, he's like, oh crap, like I guess I pissed people off and I'm going to lose money. And he is having to backpedal on that. And he had a response yesterday. This is what he said. He said, to see how much shit the song stirred up makes me not only embarrassed, but kind of scared. Left wing or right wing, we're all one bird and American. To be clear, I'm on neither side of these radical sides. This song is about how much I love this country and everything in it more than anything. When you hear the rest of the song, you're going to understand the full context that hits on both sides of the aisle. Everyone using this now as a weapon is only proving how devastatingly divided we all are. And then he protected his account. He locked it down, which I find very interesting. What a coward, And he maybe shouldn't have done that. Maybe he shouldn't have called law enforcement a bunch of MFers,
Yeah. I love that these celebrities, I think they live in such sheltered environments and they all go to their little parties and they talk to each other and they come up with these ideas as if everybody agrees with them. Mm-hmm. But they need to read a different room, read the actual room that we're in. I don't think they notice that culture has completely changed. So I'm sure he expected to release a song and everyone would be like, oh my God, you're a hero. You're the best.
Right.
And now he has to come up with that BS statement.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't mean it.
Yeah, we have a tweet. Do we have a tweet, Valen? I think I say tweet. It's an X. Yeah, we have it. I mean, you can see exactly what this is cocky MFers is what he called them. So, and then he's talking, this is a statement right here. And then he locked his account down like a total pansy. This guy you don't get to play victim now, dude. You don't get to do that. So anyways, that guy's a loser, just letting you know. That's how I feel about that. So also just an aside about this ICE stuff. Here are some older liberal ladies who have figured out the TikTok and the Facebook, and they want to teach you how to fight back against law enforcement. Here we go.
We are your neighbors and friends, and some of us are family members, have family members from your community with ours, and we're out teaching people, especially the white people, how they can help defend everybody when they go out shopping or they have an errand to do, how to stop the ICE and the people in the masks that are kidnapping people. We don't want that. That's wrong, okay? So we're out here, we do this every week, we teach people, and then those people go and teach other people. So we are doing what we can, and we love you.
Oh my God. They're like the old Spice Girls.
Yeah, the MLM of ICE resistance.
I cannot. What are they doing? Like what are they teaching? This is what I want to know. You can't. Just stop.
I feel like nothing they are teaching could be helpful to people resisting arrest. And this, but I think liberals have tried to confront this in their own party before, but a bunch of white ladies telling illegal immigrants or people suspected of crimes that they should resist arrest is how people get hurt and in more trouble.
Yeah.
But they have no concept of that because they're too privileged to understand the consequences of what they're telling people to do. The worst of liberal white women right there.
Yeah, I think the only thing worse than liberal white women are old liberal white women. That's it. Yeah, exactly. You guys, we got to talk about coat defense real quick. So the daily preventative powder is a lifesaver in this house. We love, love, love it. And we love the balm too. So Bear came to us with terrible allergies. He's like Mr. Ear Infection because he's a shepherd. This is what shepherds do. This is like their life. It's their love language is to have allergies. And the preventative powder has been a game changer for him and Theo because they're both shepherd mixes and shepherds get all the ear issues. And so I sprinkle the preventative powder in both of their ears, on their coats and their little toe beans. And it is miraculous stuff. It's like a dry shampoo for dogs, but it's better. And it's packed with natural chemical-free ingredients. It gets rid of the odor and the yeastiness and it softens their coats. And I don't have to bathe them as much, which is really nice because they're running around all the time being crazy. The preventative powder and the balm are just really, really incredible. It's like a great duo for allergy-prone dogs. I don't want our boys to be on like antibiotics and steroids all the time. And so many dogs get into that routine. And Coat Defense creates an environment where the yeast and the bad bacteria, it cannot survive. So there's less scratching and less meds and happier dogs. And we love that. And it also works really well for stinky sneakers, just FYI, for people. And we have athletes in this house and I sprinkle it in sneakers, it's really great. Pro tip. Try Coat Defense Daily Preventative Powder at coatdefense.com and get 15% off for you and your pet with code CHICKS at checkout. That's coatdefense.com, code CHICKS for 15% off. Do it. All right. Yesterday, there was a roundtable. I don't know if you guys saw that. There was a White House roundtable yesterday on Antifa. And Trump wanted to hear from all of the independent journalists who have seen firsthand the madness that is Antifa. And one of the journalists, his name is Jonathan Choe. He is a journalist and a media professional. He works as a senior fellow with the Discovery Institute Center on Wealth and Poverty. He was one of the journalists asked to participate yesterday, and he made a video on the way in. Check this out.
It's been a whirlwind 48 hours. Just the other day, I was in Portland, Oregon, covering an Antifa direct action. Smoke is now being deployed. Now I'm in Washington, D.C., invited alongside a group of other independent journalists to attend an Antifa roundtable with President Trump. We're going to brief him about how these domestic terrorists work and, of course, share our own personal experiences covering these nut jobs on the front lines. Looking back at the past 5 years, getting doxxed with my address on buildings, being targeted by Antifa with violence, I guess it was all worth it because this very moment could change the trajectory of how the U.S. government, how the federal authorities start to target and go after these folks to wipe them out once and for all.
Remember when Penguin Man, who's the guy that looks like a penguin? Who's the congressman that looks like a penguin or senator? What's his name? You guys know who I'm talking about? Short guy that like waddles. What's his name? He said Antifa didn't exist.
Nadler? Is it
Nadler? Yes. Nadler. Yeah. You guys knew who I was talking about when I said penguin. You knew exactly what I was talking about.
I could picture him immediately. Yeah.
Right. He said, oh, Antifa doesn't exist. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, at least this administration is facing these, because they're freaking terrorists. It's a terrorist organization is what they are. They're terrorizing people. And so I'm so glad to see that President Trump is actually facing this head on, because these lunatics have been around forever. I had no idea how long they've been in existence. And I think somebody said they've been around since like the 40s in some capacity. I was like, what? I had no idea. So that was crazy. And then just people went around and they talked about their experiences with Antifa. Very eye-opening. Trump had press there, and we'll get to that. There's they talked about how the press has just been complicit in all of this and awful. And he railed on them. Beautiful. I have a beautiful clip with that. But Brandi Kruse, she's a Seattle journalist. She was actually a liberal. And I'm pretty sure that dealing with Antifa turned her. This is her speaking.
I was a mainstream reporter in Seattle for 10 years. I was a TV reporter on the streets doing my job, and I was still assaulted by Antifa. So it's not about being conservative. It's about people who go there and show what they're doing. And when I saw, after all those years, that the media wouldn't be honest about what was happening, that Democratic politicians wouldn't be honest about what was happening, I thought, well, gosh, if they're not being honest about that, maybe they're not being honest about President Trump either. And it opened my mind to just looking at things for what they were. And now I find you quite funny, actually. Now it's like I said, I'm much happier about it. But, for me, again, I could not care any less the stories that they go to print. This is what I care about. We have 3.5 years. Nothing is guaranteed, although I think if Democrats keep it up, we'll probably have Republican presidents for the next 3 decades. But nothing is guaranteed, and so what I want to see over the next 3.5 years is a full court press to dismantle Antifa once and for all in a meaningful way. I know, Andy, we talked before this about some ideas. That's really what we want to, I don't care what the media says, I don't care what Democrats say. They will never wake up to this fact. So we want the federal government to take as many of these cases as possible, look at the interstate travel between Portland and Seattle when it comes to these people who are committing violent acts, and hopefully in 3.5 years, they will be a shell of them.
Those are some of my favorite conservatives, are the ones who have turned, the ones who were once liberals and they were pretty jaded, and then they came to the right side, because we've seen them.
Like born again conservatives.
They're born again conservatives because they've been on the other side and they've gone through the transition. It's kind of like, somebody who just had a really terrible life or upbringing, and then they weren't a person of faith. And then they became a born again Christian. Like those are to me, they're like the best kind of Christian, because they get it. And then they see everything. It's like they're omnipotent. They can really see both sides. I really love those kind of conservatives. So when I saw that, I was like, I dig that,
Yeah, she's amazing. But I will say, I think she thinks still kind of idealistically that Democrats just haven't noticed how bad this is. And I feel pretty cynical about it. I feel like Democrats know exactly how bad Antifa is, but they like it. They like that Antifa will do all of the dirty work for them, all of the intimidation and the violence and the silencing of conservatives, that they've become like the army for the radical left. And yes. I think a lot of Democrats are thinking, like, I don't want to get rid of them. They're doing all the hard stuff. I can keep my hands clean over here, and they can do all of that. So I think it's not that they don't realize. I think they absolutely know who Antifa is, and they want them there.
That's such a fantastic, that's such a great point, Corinne. And I saw 2 gentlemen talking yesterday. I honestly don't remember who it was because I was looking at so much stuff yesterday, but they were talking about a very similar point where a lot of liberals and Democrats are online, like a lot of pundits. They'll say awful things and they'll instigate and they'll try to initiate like stuff that is violent. And they won't say that they want people to get hurt, but they want other people to do the hurting and the killing. You know what I mean? Like, and they'll try to rile people up, especially when it comes to like this fascism and this Nazi bullshit, they'll do it. So a crazy person out there in the masses will do their bidding and they don't have to do it. You know what I mean? So they're delighted to say the things that are awful and, they're happy to say it. So other people will go out there and carry out what they're saying. And so that's why they don't lower the temperature. is because these people want it to happen. Kind of like what you're saying.
And they're so worried that we'll take the crazy people off the streets, and then what? Who's going to listen to their tweets? Who's going to act on what they actually want to happen?
Exactly. Totally. God, you're so right. You're so right. And this is Katie Daviscourt, who was talking with a black eye, and she was punched in the face by Antifa the same day that Nick Sorter was arrested. What's interesting is that the guys who punched her were not arrested. And Democrats are saying that she's faking it. Like some of these Democrats are like, she's just faking the black eye. She's faking. Oh my God, you cannot make this up. Here's Katie Daviscourt.
I work for the Post Millennial alongside Andy Ngo and Jack Posobiec. I have been infiltrating Antifa cells in Seattle and Portland for the past decade. I know their inner workings, and Antifa uses extreme political violence to crush the civil rights of their political enemies and believes that violence is justified by any means necessary. But today, I want to focus on what is happening in Portland at the ICE facility. I've been covering this for the past 4 months, and this is a call out to corporate media who has completely ignored this story or has falsely reported on it. This is nothing short other than a sustained attack on the United States, which is being supported by Democratic elected officials. The Portland Police Bureau has completely abandoned several blocks outside the ICE facility, giving away their jurisdiction to a terrorist group who has spent the past 4 months harassing, assaulting, and intimidating anyone they perceive to be against their cause. Not only have federal agents been relentlessly assaulted for more than 100 consecutive days, black-clad anarchist militants concealing their identities behind black facial coverings have been assaulting reporters just for trying to cover their crimes. Today, I am sitting here with a black eye and a concussion after being violently hit in the face with a metal pole while reporting outside the ICE facility just this past week. After the attack, I immediately went to three Portland police officers who refused to detain the suspect. I took the time to chase down the suspect in the streets, had her held for 35 minutes.
You go, girl.
I was waiting for Portland police to come, and they never came.
God, and the police never came. Like, what does that tell you?
Yeah,
it's unreal.
Totally. They have no responsibility for the violence. They will not take any responsibility. I understand that some of the police don't want to get involved because it is so violent and they're scared, but it's like, I don't know if you should be a police.
That's their job. That's their literal job, is to go into danger. Like, if they don't want to go into danger, maybe find somebody else to do your damn job. I mean, that's why do Democrats want lawlessness so much? It's the number one job of government to keep the citizens safe. They're not doing that. They're failing, which is why Trump is stepping in. This is why it's just so maddening to me that people are like, oh, Trump is being mean. It's autocracy. He's a dictator. Okay. Did you see what's happening here? I mean, when the police don't come when you're in trouble, that's a problem. That's a big problem. They're not doing their job in Portland. They're not doing their job in Chicago. There are other cities across the country where they're not doing their job. We need to ask the question, why? And if they're not doing it, then yeah, they need to step in, because that's lawlessness. And that's the number one job of the government, is to keep us safe.
Yep.
Yeah. I love this so much too. It's a major truth bomb in the next clip, because they were saying the reason why Antifa is doing what they're doing is because of the media. Basically, they're starting to talk about the media a little bit. Check this out.
They're doing it. What are they gaining other than they're obviously paid? They're paid a lot of money. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, if I can answer that question, the reason why they're doing it is because the same media that's sitting in this room with us has declared all of us at this table Nazis and fascists, and they've been doing this for years. This is why Antifa feels emboldened to attack us. Now, almost every single person at this table has been threatened with a steel bat. We've been assaulted, we've been harassed, we've been threatened, and that is in huge part due to the media. So my message right now is for you guys, because 2 years ago back in 2020, by the way, I was censored for my reporting on Antifa here in Washington, D.C. You were talking about how safe it is now, Mr. President. It wasn't so safe back then. Back in 2020, I watched as a father was being mobbed and surrounded by Antifa members as his terrified, crying children looked on and the police here did nothing. Gosh. I watched as a woman had her hair violently ripped out of her skull simply for waving an American flag on the streets of Washington, D.C. And by the way, if you guys try to go and find any of this footage, you won't find any of it because Twitter deleted all of it because our president shared my reporting and they deleted my entire account immediately after. So now, if you want to know what happened in 2020, all you're going to see is the media headlines that said that it was fiery but mostly peaceful. Thanks for that one, CNN.
Yeah. Okay. So they deleted her account. Don't they call that censorship? Isn't that what they accused Trump of when it comes to Jimmy Kimmel? But wait, I thought we were doing that, but they weren't doing it. That's weird. So weird.
I'm glad that we're talking about this again because it's been a while. You know, Elon bought Twitter, where I feel like we're pretty comfortable now having this like safe space for free speech.
Yes.
But 2020 was terrible. I remember, I mean, I got my YouTube banned and Twitter shadow banned, but those reporters who were in the field getting these stories about the BLM violence at the deleted accounts, deleted videos, footage that we'll never get back. They actually just try to wipe it off the internet. Mm-hmm. And we pretend now that it didn't happen because now we fixed it.
Totally.
But it happened.
Yep. It totally did. So many conservatives were either suppressed or shut down completely. Mock and I are always just amazed that we're still doing what we're doing. Because
we survived.
We survived. Like we stayed above water, like barely. Like we were like underwater. We were like the ducks. You know what I mean? We were just like, let's just try to like survive this, and we did. By the grace of God, we survived because so many people around us did not. And so when I hear people on the left complain about censorship, I'm like, you can suck it. Are you kidding? Like we all went through this, whether it was just for being conservative or the IRS targeting conservatives. We went through, I mean, they went through all that during the Obama reign. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Or, you know, just during COVID, doctors being shut down. You don't get to talk about censorship. Y'all don't own that conversation. We can all just come at you with example after example after example of how we've been suppressed and squelched and censored by you. So shut it. Yeah. You don't get to
They cheered for it. And we know now it came from the highest level. The FBI was telling Twitter to do it. The FBI was telling YouTube and Facebook to take people to delete their accounts, to take content down from private citizens even, but definitely from conservative influencers that had any kind of Republican base. They were just trying to silence the opposition entirely.
Right. It's just more projection and more gaslighting. It's what they're great at. This is what they do. And on that vein, this is Trump dressing down some liberal like CNN media chick. Her name is Kristen Holmes. And she tried to do like some sort of gotcha question with him yesterday, and he just wasn't having it. Here he is.
This is CNN speaking, by the way. So,
Are you
this is one of the worst reporters that you'll ever see. I don't even want to take a question. It's a waste of time. Go ahead.
How will you decide which workers get back pay and which workers do not?
Well, we're going to see. Most of them are going to get back pay, and we're going to.
He was just like, take all the seats. I'm not dealing with your crap today. And that was probably one of my favorite clips from yesterday, because I think we're all so over their crap. Like he dealt with it in his first term, but now all of us are just like, we know you're full of crap. We know you are. We are propaganda machines. So many of you are. I mean, even some of the good ones tend to be, they kind of get on my nerves sometimes, you know, I say the good ones, the ones that I think are on our side. I'm leery of all of legacy media just, so we're on to all of them. And so now I think he has no problem just looking at them and saying, take all the seats, which is what he did in that particular case. And that gave me all the glees. I loved it.
Yeah, I love he always does that up front too. So they don't even really get their gotcha. He immediately discredits whoever's going to ask the question. So they don't even get the good burn in. And I think that's a great example of Trump controlling the narrative in this administration better than he did in his first one. Because now he's not going to even let you ask the question. He's going to let everyone know you're an idiot before you ask the question.
Right. He's a true alpha. Yep. Such an alpha. Okay, so the shutdown, you guys, we're on day 8. Is this 8? Yes. I don't know. I needed a clip that didn't make me want to punch all these people in the face. So I chose Senator Kennedy, you guys. Here he is on the Schumer shutdown because that's what this is. Check this out.
Schumer is he's nervous as a pregnant nun about losing his reelection to the socialist wing of his party, led by Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, which is in control. Now, we will eventually come out of this shutdown. Here's how I think it will happen. Chuck, Senator Schumer, is a smart man. He's been around a long time. His first car was a Chariot. Washington is all he's ever known his entire life. He knows he's on shaky ground here in terms of policy. So here's how I think it'll end. Schumer will go to 6 or 8 of his colleagues and say, Democrats, of course, and say, I want you to vote to lift the shutdown. Now, he'll say, I can't vote with you. I've got to appear to be tough. I may even have to criticize you, but wink, wink, nod, nod. I'm trying to make the loon wing of the party love me, but you bail me out.
The Chariot thing. It's just like, I freaking love that guy so much. It's the only way I can deal with this end of this week. It's been a week. And I was like, I got to have Kennedy, you know? I do. Yeah.
And I think he's absolutely right. That is what's going to happen. All the backdoor deals, and Chuck is going to pretend he had nothing to do with it. But you know, he's back there whipping the votes because he doesn't want this shutdown.
Totally.
To continue.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's all on his shoulder. Like it's his fault. This is his fault. But never mind all that, because we have representatives literally fighting in the halls of the Capitol. This is what they're doing. And I have Hakeem Jeffries and Mike Lawler. They were having a heated exchange yesterday. Now, I could have chosen the real clip, but I didn't feel like it. So I chose the sombrero-ified version of the clip. So that's what you guys get. You're welcome.
You're not going to talk to me. You're not going to talk to me and talk over me,
New York residents,
because you don't want to hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm listening.
So why don't you just keep your mouth shut?
Oh,
because you showed up.
Is that the way to talk?
You showed up.
Yeah.
And so you voted for this one big ugly bill.
This. You can extend it right now.
A permanent extension of massive tax breaks for your billionaire donors.
So 90% of Americans.
So they can get a permanent extension.
90% of Americans take the standard deduction.
Is that right?
90% of Americans take the standard deduction.
Is that right?
It's just so much better with the sombrero. It is.
It is way better.
They're fighting. They're fighting like toddlers. And that's mean to toddlers, you guys. It really is.
Yeah. And fighting again against Americans. Hakeem Jeffries he wants you to pay more taxes, and he wants illegal immigrants to get everything for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it could not be more clear than it is now.
Right. And then they're lying about it. And they're like, no, that's not what it's for. It's for Americans. No, it's for illegals. That's what it's for. You can read it. Just go and look at it. That's what they want. Anyways. And then we have Jimmy Kimmel, you guys. So he went on his show the other night and he was talking about the shutdown and he mocked prayer. I wasn't going to include this, but I just think it's important that people know that we have jackholes like him that are on late night TV. And it's like after the Charlie Kirk stuff and everything, like after he was fired for saying what he said, I said fired. I'm for what, like 2 seconds. He was, I guess, let go or suspended for 2.5 seconds. And then he was let back on. But he was suspended because of the stuff he said about Charlie Kirk. And now he's mocking prayer and Christianity, basically. I just watch this.
Of the House, Mike Johnson, he said Republicans are praying it'll be a very short shutdown, which is good. That'll help. Prayer.
Okay, so I know he's allowed to say that. Like, it's free country. You can say it. But he's still an asshole for saying it. I just wanted to point that out.
I don't know where they get these audiences. ABC must have, they just recycle. The View audience goes to Jimmy Kimmel and they just like clap maniacally over the dumbest things ever. Like people were laughing. He can say it, whatever. I think it's rude, but it's definitely not funny. So why are all of those people laughing? concerning
And
to me.
and I think it's just interesting, and I want to point out that Christians are an easy target because we can be a target. Free speech in this country is free, right? Like it's free and you can do that and you can say it openly. I'd like for him to try to make fun of, like, say, Muhammad in an Islamic country. Do that, Jimmy, and see how that works out for you. You know, he won't do it. He won't do it. Yeah. I saw this other clip just because I want to make sure that because there's a lot of people that are, we'll get to the Candace stuff and everything, but there's just so much crap out there right now that I feel like Charlie Kirk's legacy is not. A couple weeks ago, there was so much goodness and light surrounding Charlie Kirk. And now it's just like, I feel like it's being dampened by so much crap and narcissism and people trying to capitalize on it. And that is bothering me. And so I saw this clip and I just wanted to play it for you guys.
Coming to the West. And the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yep. I just think it's important for people to go back and watch him. That's all. I just wanted to point that out because there's just a lot of crap out there about him right now. And people taking him and trying to make him into something that perhaps he wasn't. Maybe just listen to him. That's just my point on that.
I agree. He has so many great speeches, so many great clips, and we don't need anyone else to interpret them. He's a very good speaker he was gifted, blessed with such great authority to speak on such things. And we don't need anyone to translate.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Okay. One of the things that we haven't really talked about in a while is the Palisades fire. Yesterday, there was a 29-year-old Uber driver that was arrested in connection to those fires that made LA a wasteland last January. His name is Jonathan Rinderknecht, I think is how you pronounce his name. He started the fire on New Year's Day this last January, and it was on New Year's Day. It turned out to be one of the most destructive fires in LA history. It killed 12. This guy's a freaking lunatic. They found evidence that he generated from a chat GPT messaging thing on his phone of an image of a burning city. He asked AI in July of 2024 to make an image showing a hellish fire scene where people were watching the world burn down, watching the people struggle. Total crazy person. So we know now that the city of LA and the state of California, they actually allowed the fire to burn for a week in Topanga State Park. And then it rekindled and destroyed the Palisades. So Spencer Pratt, who's become my go-to when it comes to this Palisades fire stuff, he put out a video yesterday asking, why they're not holding or when they're going to hold Gavin accountable. Check this out.
Our lawyers months ago told the court what caused the Palisades fire, and today the Department of Justice has proven us right. It was a rekindle of the New Year's Eve Lockman fire and wasn't properly contained by LA City Fire. The city left it to burn and the state left it to burn for nearly a week on their property. They are now on the hook for the dangerous condition that led to the destruction of my town. Told you. The best part is now, finally, we get access to the ATF report. I told you justice was coming. This is just the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, don't you think that it's weird how Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom, they'll stop everything to help criminals like succeed in this country, but then they can't help a fire where they live? I think that's weird. Don't you guys think that's weird?
It's also weird that they claim to be environmentalists, but they allow the destruction of environments all over their state. And this has been even before Gavin, California has had a major problem with this. Trump is one of the only people that call them out. They do not do any kind of fire management. So anytime someone throws a match or even lightning strikes, the state goes up in flames and they do nothing to manage it. And as a Nevadan native, Nevada has burned many times because California does not manage their fires.
Right.
And it jumps across the border and then it ends because Nevada does do forest management.
Yeah.
But California does not. So you can actually see it. It'll jump over the border and then the fire will stop because our firefighters put it out and we have brush management and forest management here. But it is out of control. They let people die, they let animals die, burn the environment, and the economic damage of this, it'll take decades to recover from.
Yeah, it's insane. It's totally insane. And this will be a massive lawsuit. You know, lawyers are just salivating over this right now. And I can see why.
And what sucks though is like, even if they win a lawsuit, who pays for that except the taxpayers?
Totally.
Who already paid for it.
Yep. Spot on. Yep. You're absolutely right. It's just insane. And you're right. They call themselves environmentalists. And then, you know, it's, to me, what's so crazy, because you and I would be in trouble for this. Like we would be on the hook for all of this, and we'd be put in jail. We would be just so accountable. Yet Gavin will run for president. And there will be idiots out there who will vote for him. That's what is so astounding to me. It's the Democrat way, you guys. It's crazy.
Yeah. Spencer Pratt is doing great work.
He is.
Gavin down because nobody else is bringing attention to it the way that he is.
I know. Who would have thought he would have become a
dark horse.
It's just great, like out of the blue. It's just nuts. Okay. I know I'm just all over the place today, you guys. Sorry about that. It's just the news is everywhere. But the next thing we're going to go on to is Venezuelan drug boats. We're going from fires to Venezuelan drug boats. I got a video of a Venezuelan drug boat headed for America. You guys, a lot of you probably saw this. It's allegedly loaded with enough drugs to kill 25 to 50,000 people. And it was blown up by the U.S. military early in the morning of October 3rd off the coast of Venezuela. Check this out. Oh, okay. All right. I'm okay with this. I mean, I'm fine with it. Yesterday, Senators Adam Schiff and Tim Kaine invoked the War Powers Resolution to compel a Senate vote blocking Trump's military strikes against these boats in the Caribbean. Apparently, 21 people have been killed on these boats. Drug lords, you know, like these are people who are drug runners. So they say 21 people have been killed and they're sad about it. And they don't like it, even though the strikes are targeting like Tren de Aragua, and Trump is defending it and saying, listen, this is crucial to get rid of these boats and to just blast them out of the water if we want to stop drugs flowing into our country. Venezuela is saying that this is undeclared war. And I don't think this surprises anybody, but Rand Paul doesn't like this either. So here's Rand talking about this.
I want to ask you about what's going on in the Caribbean, Senator Rand Paul, and specifically when it comes to Venezuela. And you've been outspoken about this. You commented around fears of extrajudicial killings following the first boat. We've now had 4. Your concern about the president's actions here, is he looking for regime change in Venezuela?
You know, I don't know, but we did discover today that the Coast Guard, when they interdict boats, it's a common thing off the coast of Miami and California. Yeah. About 25% of the time, the boat that they board doesn't have drugs on it. So they have made an error, but they don't kill them. But we've blown up 4 boats now, and if the percentages hold true, did one of those 4 boats not have drug dealers on it? If they all had drug dealers on it, you know, the first 11 they killed, what were their names? What was the evidence linking them to being part of a gang? So I think there's a lot of unknowns here, and I don't think you can have a universal Coast Guard policy of just blowing up boats before they're interdicted.
Okay, I kind of don't care what their names are. I'm just going to be honest because I voted for this. And if you know anybody that's died from a fentanyl overdose or has children or a child who has died from a fentanyl overdose, you don't give a shit. You just don't care. I don't care. Do you care what their names are? I don't care what their names are. Do they know what the names are of the people that they've killed in this country from the drugs, from the fentanyl? I doubt that they know their names. So I voted for this too. I don't care. Do you care?
Yeah. No. And I am often on the side of Rand Paul when it comes to war and war games that we play, but not this time. Because I actually think a war against the cartels is one of the only wars America has fought in their own interest in decades.
Right.
Because like you said, people are losing their kids, their siblings, to fentanyl overdoses. And not to mention these cartels are doing worse than smuggling drugs. They are also smuggling people.
Right.
And there needs to be a deterrent because we have boarded their boats and taken all of their drugs. And that's what we've been doing for the last decade. And they don't care. They just get another boat full of drugs and they bring it over. If they have to worry that they might be blown out of the sea, they might not do it.
Right.
And,
it's a good deterrent.
That's good for me. I think this is a just war, one of the only ones in the last few decades. And I completely support military action and
it's like the 1.6 million self-deporting illegals. It's a good deterrent. Maybe they'll be like, maybe we should think twice about driving our boat there and taking some drugs there. Maybe we should think twice. Plus, this whole he has to have congressional, it's a Congress thing in order to wage war on this country. I call BS on that too, because we haven't had congressional approval to do strikes on anybody since 1942. So that's stupid, because people on the left are saying that.
Thomas Jefferson deployed the Marines without congressional approval, and he's a founding father. So
this is the thing. I just think that's when a president can do a strike on anybody that's hostile towards us. And so that's what Trump is doing. This is hostile. If they're coming in and trying to kill our people with drugs, take them out. That's how I feel about it. So
Rand is so used to arguing. Okay, it is hard to make an argument sometimes for somebody in Alabama to tell them how Iraq is going to affect their daily life or their freedom, and I see that, and I'm with him on that. It's like, I don't think this will impact your daily life, and maybe we don't need to spend money there. We don't need to have troops there, but fentanyl and the drug cartels in America, they do affect your daily life and your family.
They absolutely do.
There is a direct impact. So I don't think he's used to seeing, because he's so used to fighting against wars that are a little easier to fight against because you don't feel that. But this is a different kind of war, and I think he should get on board.
Yeah, because fentanyl was the number one killer of Americans aged 18 to 44. Until Trump got into office, during the Biden era, that's what it was. The number one killer, you guys. So it's kind of a big deal. If we can try to stop that, if Trump can, don't get in his way. I really think that's something that we should say, okay, you handle that. I also voted for this. I really did. Now, something I think is really interesting, though, is that Rand, and I think it's important to play this clip too, because Rand does love Trump. He does. He thinks he is the best president ever, which I did not know that until he said it out loud, even though he hates a lot of what he does and he's combative against some of the policies that he has and that he carries out. Watch this clip.
Autocrat?
Well, the interesting thing is, despite my complaints, despite my pushback, I still think he's the best president of our lifetime, frankly. I would vote for him 1,000,000 times over a socialist like Harris or a president like Biden, who is unable to really perform the functions of the job. But yeah, on so many things, he's for lower taxes, less regulation. He's more pro-business. Doesn't mean I agree with everything, but just because I have disagreements, and some of the things are big disagreements, doesn't mean that I actually, frankly, don't think he's a great president.
I just thought that was really interesting. I wanted to play that. I thought that was nice because a lot of people are like, oh my God, he needs to get out. He's a rhino or whatever. They call him all sorts of names, but it just shows you that people on our party, on our side, they can disagree with certain things, but they can still think that he is the best president that we've ever had. I think it's important to point that out, you guys.
I love Rand. That's a great great perspective that he has, because I do think he argues a lot ideologically, but at the end of the day, you have to deal in reality, and clearly he does. So I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Real quick, you guys, Healthy Cell, love Healthy Cell. Vegan Essentials, their multi is now named Daily Multi and Iron and Omega-3. I know it's a mouthful, but this change was so people know that it's not just for vegans, because it totally is not for vegans. In fact, this is what my daughter takes. She's a teenager, 15. She's an athlete. She works out about 4 or 5 hours a day, and she eats a lot. But I just want to know that she's getting all the immunity supports that she needs and support for her brain and her bones and development, all of it. So she takes the Daily Multi and Iron and Omega-3, and it delivers everything that she needs. I take the immune support and the hair, skin, and nails every day. We have quite the Healthy Cell stock in our house, and we love their stuff so much. But the Daily Multi Plus Iron and Omega-3 is still the same formula, the same taste, nutrition, all the same stuff, and the vegan certifications remain unchanged. They just wanted to make sure that people know that it's not just for vegans. It's actually a really, really good multi. And so we're all big meat eaters in our house. We're not vegans at all, but she loves it. It's been great for her. And if you're looking for a daily multi that does everything, try it. The Daily Multi and Iron and Omega-3. Go to healthycell.com/chicks and get 20% off your first order with promo code chicks. It is a really great daily multi, whether you're a vegan or a meat eater or whatever. That's healthycell.com/chicks, promo code chicks. The White House announced Israel and Hamas have both signed off on a peace plan. We have the White House statement right here. I am very proud to, oh, this is so small. What was I thinking, you guys? I am very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed upon time as the first steps toward a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations in the United States of America, and we thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers. Donald J. Trump. It's pretty amazing. It really is. I got to tell you, I didn't know. I was very hesitant to think that this was going to happen.
Yeah, it's so hard to be optimistic after so many years of failed peace deals, but I am so hopeful. This is a great sign. And I love having a president that is so dedicated to the cause of peace, not just verbally. Like, I don't think it's just talk from him. I think he truly, really wants
Agreed.
peace.
Agreed.
And it's amazing to see. I really hope they're successful with it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And then he was talking to Fox about the hostages. Here's a clip on that.
The hostages are going to be released. It's probably our time would be probably Monday. And you know, they're a terrible situation. They're deep in the earth, and they're being gotten, and a lot of things are happening right now as we speak. So much is happening to get the hostages freed, and we think they'll all be coming back on Monday.
And then this is one last video of him talking to the families of the hostages, which was my favorite.
Out of the world, what do you guys have to say to President Trump? Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. You did it.
You did it. Thank you.
This is amazing. Mr. President, we believe in you. We know you've done so much for us over the past, since you became a president, and even before that. And we trust you fulfill the mission until every hostage, every 48 of the hostages are home. Thank you so much. Blessed be the peacemakers.
God bless you, Mr. President. God bless America.
He probably won't get the Nobel Peace Prize, though, because he's Trump.
That gave me
not that he
chills,
cares. He
Yeah.
doesn't care, I don't think, but yeah, it's Trump. All right. So we'll see what happens. I don't trust Hamas. I don't. So, I guess we'll see what happens, but I hope we get all the hostages released, and, we'll see what happens. On the flip side, we got Greta arriving at Arlanda Airport in Stockholm, Sweden, just jumping around chanting "Free Palestine." You can check this out. For somebody who was kidnapped, she sure looks healthy to me, don't you think?
Yeah, I really don't understand the leftist obsession with Palestine because I'm fine. I don't think you have to weigh in always and pick a side, but not that. You can't pick that one. If you don't want to be pro-Israel, that's fine, but you can't be. What is with pro-Palestine, especially these liberals?
Yeah, they're useful idiots because when the Islamo-communists take over, you're going to go too, Greta. You'll be the first to go. You're like the sheep that's first in line. They're going to get rid of you first. Trust me, they will. I don't understand.
I just think they have I think they have a common enemy in that they both hate Western civilization. But you're right. In the end, they hate you too.
In the end, you're just an infidel. So I don't get it. I don't understand all these people. It's a huge thing, and there are a lot of conservatives who are jumping on that bandwagon. They think they're exempt somehow. You are an infidel. You're not exempt. And as an aside, she comes from a family of performers. Like her parents I think her dad is an actor and her mom is an opera singer. So this girl is a performer through and through. It's all acting. What you saw right there, acting is what that is.
She's only pretending to be that autistic.
Right. Right. Speaking of uselessness, there is an actual thing called the People's Conference for Palestine. It was held in Detroit this past September. So just, a month ago. And in Detroit, you guys, like, what the hell? So the organizer that it charged it all up, that was like, that organized the whole thing. I think it was a she, called the U.S. an evil country and urged activists to destroy the idea of America in Americans' heads. So this is what they call activism now, which I don't know what the FBI thinks of all this, but I don't think it's activism. I think that the national security, like everybody and anybody and everybody that's involved in national security at the top needs to be looking at this crap. Look at this video and tell me what you think.
American soil, terrorists took the stage and trashed the country hosting them.
The thing to do is to destroy the idea of America in Americans' heads.
It's called the People's Conference for Palestine, which thousands of people attended. And what they were cheering for should terrify you. This isn't a peace conference. It's a gathering of radical activists, terrorist-linked organizations, and people glorifying violence under the banner of liberation. They invited actual terrorists, like Hakeem, a convicted terrorist who built a cell in Jerusalem and was sentenced to 27 years for attempted murder. He was recently released in a hostage deal and was still invited to come speak. Here's what's actually being said at this conference.
We all know who they are, whether they are in Israel, in Washington, in Europe. They need to be taken out. They need to be neutralized. Now it's time to escalate.
They preach martyrdom.
Salute to our martyrs, those who are killed but never die.
They incite hatred towards America.
We live in an evil country. That's just what's happening.
Oh my
They push
God.
rhetoric going against the West, socially, ideologically, and politically. To cheer for sentences like this.
Liberation, never peace. That's the white man's word, peace. Liberation is our word.
Does that sound like they want peace? They're romanticizing war, and they're turning this into a cult-like experience where people are continuing to be radicalized. And then we see applause erupting when somebody says something like this.
I can tell you, I'm more Palestinian than I am American.
What the hell is wrong with these people?
Yeah, I think sometimes conservatives feel the need to make clear, like, oh, we're not anti-immigration. We're just anti-illegal immigration. I want to point out that all of those people are legal immigrants. And this is why sometimes people like Stephen Miller are villainized for saying it. But we do need to have limits on legal immigration as well. We should not be importing enemies to the United States to raise their kids here, to hate the country that they live in.
Yep.
And I think there has to be some kind of shift. And I will say now, like, I do believe there should be some caps on legal immigration as well. It's not illegal immigration is terrible. Undoubtedly deport everybody, but we need some accountability on the legal side as well.
Totally.
Too many people are here that don't love us.
People need to be vetted, and some cultures are better than others.
Mm-hmm.
They just are. All right. So yesterday there was a guy named Hassan Piker. He was trending on X. You guys, I got so sucked into this story yesterday because I love dogs. Dogs, you guys, I love dogs. And I loathe people who abuse animals. It's my thing. Okay. It's like my thing. It's if it's children, animals, or old people, and you're hurting them, I'm like, I get so irritated. I will be invested in that story. That's who I am as a person, right? So I got so invested in the story yesterday. It's Hassan Piker, aka Hassan the Hun. He's an ex-Young Turks guy. So you already know. Like, I'm already like not liking this guy. And I guess he has some sort of podcast thing. I didn't really ever pay attention to this guy before yesterday. I was years old when I heard of this guy. He apparently lives in like a $3 million mansion in Hollywood. He's like the epitome of this spoiled brat liberal who hates America. And he's like this commie Muslim, you know, the type. Anyway, people wondered how Hassan keeps his dog in one place. I mean, you guys know I have 3 dogs. I don't keep them in here during the show because it would be like chaos in here. They'd all be fighting and like humping each other during the show. We can't have that, right? So it's like he has this dog behind him and the dog stays put like the entire time. And people are like, how does he do that? Because the dog doesn't move the whole time. Well, during one of his broadcasts the other day, she started to stretch and move a little bit. And you can see his arm, you know, go to grab something and she yelps. And so, you know, people are like, he has a shock collar on her to make her not move. Watch the video and tell me what you guys think.
All of America's much more consequential violence. Okay. It's the same reason as to why America, Kaya, please just fucking go. Just stop.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. What are you doing? You're being such a baby.
Yeah, because you shocked her.
It's just.
Oh my God.
You're making her stressed. She just literally is so incredibly spoiled from my mom.
Really? Okay. And he's doubling down. Like he doubled down last night and he said that the collar is just a vibrating collar and has a tracker on it.
She yelped.
She yelped. And then there's another video of, I don't know if you remember, we've talked about Possum Lady on the show. He had Possum Lady on, you know, the lady that shall not be named from another podcast. She had plastic surgery to make her look like a possum. She was on his show and she was like, the collar's too tight. And so it has like those little prongs in it. We have a tracker collar on Theo because he's a runner. And so if he gets out of the house, he will wander. We have land and we need to make sure that he doesn't like go into somebody else's pasture or something. So we have a tracker. It does not have prongs on it. You know what I mean? If you have prongs on it, that's for shocking. Prongs are for shocking. If you have a vibration collar, it just has a vibration action thing within the collar. There are no prongs. This guy is a freaking shocker. It's a shock collar. That's what it is. It's a shock collar. But I mean, the dog is sitting there because it's scared and it sits there. It doesn't want to be shocked. I mean, just admit that. And you can tell that the dog is probably afraid of this owner. He's not a dog person. You know, he's just not. He has the dog probably to appear more likable. This is who this guy is. But yes, he doubled down last night and just, you could tell he was really shaky and jumpy about it when he was talking about it. I don't like him.
No, he needs a shock collar.
Yeah, he does need a shock collar.
We should get him one.
Yeah, and I think not only does he need a shock collar, but somebody needs to bring that dog to me, and I will raise the dog. She needs to just live without a collar, or like just a nice, pretty pink collar, and then she can run around on my property with all of my other dogs. But this behavior tracks.
He shocks her. She lays down, and then he's like still yelling at her. I'm like, she's fine. What is she doing now? She just laid down. You're so mean. Not everybody deserves dogs.
I totally agree. It tracks the behavior tracks. It's like Muslim, liberal, socialist dude. If you don't obey me, I'm gonna torture you. Right. Exactly. So this guy's a jerk. Anyways, I don't like it. Your mileage may vary, but Hassan Piker is his name. Lisa asked who he is. Hassan Piker. Hassan the Hun is what he calls himself. So you can check that out. I'm sure that the story will continue. He's gotten a lot of traction over the past day and a half. So that's happening. Also, I got a mishmash of some other videos for you guys. This next video is of Jasmine Crockett defending criminals. Check this one out.
Anybody to mistake what I'm saying. Just because you are impoverished does not mean that you will be a criminal. But I do want to be clear that there is a direct link between poverty and susceptibility to having to engage in certain things. And this is something that I know up close and personal as a public defender. In fact, my elected prosecutor in Dallas County, he kind of caught some flack because he probably shouldn't have said it out loud. But he specifically said, if I get people that are getting charged with a low-level misdemeanor for going and stealing food, diapers, like basic necessities, because they literally can't afford it. He's like,
out of desperation.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not locking you up, right? Like, and granted, like, there is no good point in doing it because a decent defense attorney would have a defense, right? That there's a defense that we have on the book. So we, go and try the case, right? But like most people didn't understand. They're like, oh, he's telling everybody to go steal. And I'm like, that's not what he was doing. But like, okay. And so I want people to understand that there are crimes that are committed not because people are criminals, but because they literally are trying to survive.
What is this narrative that she's trying to, push forth that criminals aren't really criminals? Crime isn't really crime. You see what I'm saying? Like, she's been doing this a lot lately. She had another video that was very similar where it was just because they're criminal, they're committing crimes doesn't mean they're criminals. You remember that one? Yeah.
And she's a lawyer, so that should really concern us that she went to law school, and that's what she came out thinking.
The law school, Corinne. She went to law school.
That's right. I think it's also rude to poor people because the implication is that every poor person becomes a criminal, but that isn't true.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every American would have sympathy for someone who stole diapers or something out of necessity. I don't think that that's really happening. And I would like to see the people that she's defending, like the bail funds that liberals set up. They're usually letting out violent criminals who assaulted people or even worse than assault. But she always wants to make it about like, oh, they were stealing food. I'm like, those people probably would have had an easy time in court. Americans have a lot of sympathy for desperate situations, but that's not actually who you're talking about. You want the violent criminals to not pay for their crime.
Deflect, Jasmine. And why was she doing the interview in her shoe closet? Why was she doing that? That was so weird. Okay, we had another one of another batshit Democrat woman. You guys ready for this? This one is a leaked video of Democrat California governor candidate Katie Porter yelling at a staffer. Guys, get ready for this.
For stat number 2?
I am.
All right. $632.
Wait for it.
$632, which is how much you save in fuel and maintenance costs when you replace your traditional car with an EV, with an electric vehicle. So I lease a Chevy Bolt. It is the best car that I have ever owned. I just plug it into the garage, 3-hole prong plug, and I never have to go to the gas station.
That's awesome. And $632 is real money. And I know here at UCI, we have a National Fuel Center Research Center, and they're also doing work on how to make electric vehicles affordable, including for low and moderate income people, working moms, single moms like me, people who really could benefit from an extra $632 in their pocket. And it's also not just the individual savings, but it's also the total savings for our economy. So I'm on the oversight committee, you might know, and that is where we did a study recently this fall in September. And what it showed is if we don't electrify our transportation sector, that we're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely to air pollution and other problems. And the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually, it's not that it's electric vehicles, it's that if we don't
don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay.
Oh my
It
God.
does, okay.
You're just kidding. I mean, we do that all the time, right? We do it. Mock and I do that all the time.
That is me to my cat before every segment.
Totally.
Get out of my shot.
Get out of my effing shot. She does know that she's recording because she's like going from a script. So I don't understand how she feels so comfortable to be crazy. I think of all the people that are just terrible to their staff, they're just awful. And then they continue to work for them. Like, why do people work for people like that? Why? Yeah,
Politics is one of the worst too. The abusive boss culture. People are addicted to it. They love getting yelled at by politicians.
And she's back in the back with her mask on going, "Thank you, ma'am. May I have another? Thank you." It's like, oh my God, crazy liberal biatches, you guys. All right. And of course, you guys, we cannot go today without updating you on the Candace drama. I'm not going to give too much, okay? Because I hate giving her more clicks and subs and all that kind of stuff, but we have to just update you really quick. Here's just one video. That's just one. Here we go.
Went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents. So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me, me and my family, that are threatening us to sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real.
Oh my God.
I'm now at that point where you look back and you go, man, Kanye was right. He was really saying something about what it takes to leave, to fight for custody of your own soul. Just leave me alone. Let me say what I believe and you say what you believe. Fight fair. Why do you always have to make this threat to bankrupt people? And I want you to know that those people, if anything happens to me, they have my explicit permission to release it all, detonate it all, expose all of these people in politics and in the movement who behave like this behind the scenes. It's necessary. And I highly recommend every single person that is out there that has a platform and is going through things and is scared, do the same. Send everything around to about 8 people that you trust. And I mean, I've ranged it. I sent it to journalists, text messages and screenshots to people ranging from Max Blumenthal to Andrew Tate. They won't know where it's coming from.
I just can't. You guys, Kanye is her North Star. Just so you know, it's her North Star. I can't at this point. I just can't. So many people are following her.
Just expose them now. If people are making threats, I do think politics and media can be a nasty business. And I think we've all had experiences with bad producers or, it's just gross. There's a lot of gross things that happen. But if that is happening, when you have such a following like Candace does, she should just tell us.
Yeah. But I mean, Corinne, her husband alone is worth $240 million. I feel like financially she's probably okay.
Yeah. But if there are threats being made, and Kanye, said the same thing, that people were threatening, that Kanye posted all the text messages of people threatening him. So Candace should do that. If that's happening, I want to see them.
Well, I mean, she's got to do that with the trickle, because then it helps with engagement. It's gonna really.
Kanye put his threats right on Instagram for everyone to see, and I did watch. It was a great 2 weeks of reading his text messages. So Candace could do that quickly too.
He's also bipolar. Just like to point that out. Yeah. And the fact that she is, letting everybody know too, that she's aligning with people like Andrew Tate should also speak volumes. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have never checked it out. We actually have a great interview with the lawyer who's representing some of the women who are suing Andrew Tate for trafficking. So you should check that out. It's a great interview, by the way. Yeah. So this chick is the last thing, and then we'll get on to super stickers and thank yous and all that kind of stuff. But last thing, I just thought this was a really interesting video. We've talked, I think earlier this week, we had another chick. It was like a Gen Zer who went on and was like angry about the economy and stuff like that. This one, she looks like she's probably around your age bracket, you know, sort of. She's mad because she can't pay her bills. So check this out.
Paid my rent this morning. Happy to report I had a whopping $47 left in my bank account. Yeah, no, you want to hang out for sure. Yeah, you should totally come over. We can't turn any of the lights on or the TV because I can't afford the electricity bill. And for dinner, you know, maybe we can have some stale pita chips because, again, can't afford dinner. But yeah, like for sure, come over. Like, I'm so glad that I spent 10 years of my life in school getting an education to get a job that was supposed to provide me with job security and financial security, only to kill myself every day at work to be able to afford a roof over my head and literally nothing else. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine.
Seriously, come on, Corinne. You cannot tell me that that chick's not doing lip injections and Botox. Come on.
Yeah, she looks very well maintained. Her hair is also done.
Right.
And I happen to know that costs a lot, unfortunately.
Right? I mean,
if I ever make a crying video about how low my bank account is, it's always when I'm leaving the hair salon.
Right. Totally. I mean, this is the thing. She's bitching about. I want to feel sorry for these chicks who get out on TikTok and complain about the economy, but there is so much smoothness. I know she's young, okay? But it's like there's nothing moving, and it's like tracker jackers have stung everything. Right, you guys, look at all the hurt. Tracker jackers have stung everything on her. Like, you cannot tell me she has not spent like so much stuff on her face. There's so much money in here that she does not need to be doing. What is that? Am I the only person that sees that?
No, I definitely see it. And like I said with the other girl too, it's like, I do have sympathy for the economy and how hard it is right now. Where you lose people is lack of problem solving and sacrifice. And I don't think, ideally we wouldn't have to make any sacrifices and everybody would be living in a great economy and just like thriving. But it's hard to have sympathy for someone who's not trying to make their life work.
You know what? I'd have more sympathy if she looked a little more ratchet and was on a flip phone. How's that?
Be uglier.
Right. Maybe just a little bit. You know what I mean? If you didn't have all that going on, maybe I'd feel just a little bit sorrier for you. All right, you guys, on to some thank yous. I'm going to do some super stickers here. Marcy Peralez, continued prayers for Thomas and the entire Weaver family. Thank you, Corinne, for filling in. And thank you, Daisy, for holding us all together. Thank you, Marcy. Shelly Bolton, Corinne, thank you so much for helping. Haters going to hate, but they're not most of us. That's true. That's why I wanted her to talk about that, because she said that to me this morning. I'm like, we got to point that guy out, because I know there are a lot of people who give you a lot of love, because she's been great this week. And I really appreciate Corinne. Marcus Drake, the hater just hates beautiful, intelligent women because he can't get near a woman who isn't inflatable himself. It's true, Marcus. It's right. Jennifer, no. Jen predicts that justice will come regarding Fauci. He can't hide in the Keebler Hollow tree eating fudge forever. I hope not, Jen. Robin Zecca, Corinne rocks and her Halloween fits are great. God bless Mock and everyone at Chicks on the Right. She has been very festive this week, hasn't she? I know. I love it. I'm jealous of all of her t-shirts. Robin Dye, wear red Tuesday, October 14th for Charlie K's birthday. I did not know that. Thank you, Robin. Yes, we could wear red. Leah Shallak, any mayor, governor, politician, celeb who calls to or breaks federal immigration law must publish their home address so bad guys can break into their homes and they can't call police for help. Fair? I think that's fair, Leah. Karen, thank you so much for that super sticker. Patrick Connolly, Corinne, know that you delivered this week like a true pitch hitter would. Go into the weekend knowing that you're loved and appreciated. Go Tigers. Thank you for saying that, Patrick, because she really did. And she got up so freaking early, you guys. And she's at, aren't you at your mom's house this week?
I am.
She's helping her mom out this week. And she, in a pinch, totally, she helped me out. So appreciative of Corinne this week. Our team is completely awesome. Sid 8, Corinne was so good this week. Thank you. Praying for your entire team. Love y'all. Thank you. Shelly Ethington, just remember that Satan doesn't first against what he already conquered. The vitriol against Charlie's legacy is due to the powerful response to his message. Christianity is in the crosshairs. I agree, Shelly. It totally is. And we just need to know that and reject it. Curio 23, the names of those boat drivers are Bob, Flip, Skip, etc. They were spread everywhere. 23. Elizabeth Boyer, I want to wish my mom a very happy 89th birthday today. I love you so much, Mom. See you later today for dinner. That's so sweet, Elizabeth. Happy birthday, Mom. Karen,
Happy birthday.
Karen, I will try to pronounce your last name because you gave us 2 super stickers. I think it's Zia Ziola. Is that how you can't see it, but it's DZIADZIOLA. You guys, I don't know. I'm at a loss. It's a fantastic last name, but I will butcher it. So thank you, Karen, for those super stickers. Jennifer, no. Daisy, don't worry about Charlie's legacy. God has this and it will get worse before it gets better. So much heartbreak and chaos has to be sorted out. Yeah, I mean, I just worry about it because there's so many people that are opportunists. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that bothers me. J City 10, glad you exposed Jane Goodall. Love Steve Irwin. Yeah, I love Steve Irwin too. His kids are like carrying on his legacy, and that's cool. I love that. Brian Brumley.
The little Robert is on Dancing with the Stars right now, and he's like thirst trapping every week.
He's so
really
cute, isn't he?
He's so cute.
So cute. Brian Brumley, maybe Jazzy needs to sell all those shoes in her closet on Poshmark and donate the money to all those impoverished criminals. Yes, Brian. It's a fantastic idea. Lillian Gillette, good morning from California. Love the chicks. Been following you ladies since 2015. I want to wish my dad, Jesus Lopez, a very happy 100th birthday. Holy cow. He's 100? That's amazing. Happy birthday. Mags, please send up some prayers that our basset hound Ope, is it Opie or Ope, does not suffer as he was diagnosed with an aggressive cancer and given a few months to live. So sorry. I'm so sorry, Mags. I've been there. I'm so sorry. God bless you. And I love basset hounds so much. I had one growing up. They are so sweet and they're actually really smart. People don't give them enough credit. They're so smart. You guys, thank you everybody this week. I know that we're not going to, I've told you we're not going to be here tomorrow. So we won't be here tomorrow, but we will be back on Monday with Mock. Everybody give Corinne lots of like praise and love and like virtual hugs. She is like stepbrothers. We were joking yesterday when it comes to the hugs. She's sort of like awkward with the hugs. And if she's not a big hugger, you guys, but we're going to hug her anyway. Everybody give her a side hug. She's going to side hug and I'm going to do a real hug. Everybody bring it in and we're going to hug. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support this week. Keep the prayers coming for Mock and y'all have a wonderful, safe weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.